Right everyone, welcome back. So this will be the fourth video of my little cat family. So I'd like to introduce everyone to little Simba. Okay, this is Simba, and basically he is a very beautiful cat. And unfortunately, when I first got Simba a few years back now, like maybe 4.5 years ago, I got him as a kitten. So he actually come from a very sort of bad background. And basically with Simba, he's very digi and very shaky, extremely nervous as well, even though he might look very affectionate on the camera. Basically, yeah, I know Simba, you're being a good boy. Basically what happened was is when I first got Simba, unfortunately he was covered in fleas. And when I went to pick him up from the guy turned up obviously like with a brand new Mercedes Benz, and he said that how he was extremely desperate for £20 for Simba. So I didn't understand the situation anyway. He probably just wanted to put a bit of petrol in his car, but it just seemed a little bit strange and a bit weird, right? So obviously getting back to the story now, is when I first got Simba, he was absolutely covered in fleas. Like he had them all over his face and all over his body basically, and I was actually really disgusted. And what I've done is when I got him home, I had to comb him all the way through, get all the fleas off of him. But unfortunately, he suffered with like a skin allergy towards all the flea bites, and he had a massive allergic reaction. So unfortunately for little Simba, is that he created like, it actually like created an eczema. So he suffers with cat eczema, and every now and again he does get like little bumps and like sort of little like scabs over his like fur itself, like over his skin. And obviously you have to be extremely like delicate with him, because obviously like I don't want any infection to spread. So every now and again I used to have to keep taking him, like me and my partner would have to take him to the RSPCA, and he kept having like a steroid injection. And what it done is it's a very short term sort of relief for him, so it'll actually calm him down, he won't scratch, and his skin flare ups, they're not going to be as bad, right? But the only trouble is like I said, it's very short term. You have two alternatives: you either have the steroid injection or you have the steroid tablets. Now to give a cat a tablet, right, is so it might be easy for some cats, but it's extremely hard, especially for others. So with Simba, like I said, he went through a very traumatic sort of period of time. And originally I actually got Simba from my mum, for like her sort of like Christmas present, because she always like used to come around the house with the other cats that I had, and she kept on saying about how she really loved the cats, and she literally, she just couldn't get enough of them. She was extremely excited by them every time that she come around. So I thought I was going to treat her with a little kitten for Christmas sort of thing. But this sort of reverts back to a couple of my previous videos, right? A cat is not for Christmas, it's not. And obviously like it really boiled down to the fact that if I said to my mum, look, if you really don't want him, I'll take him anyway. So, I mean, he's great company for Tyson and Tilly and Socks and even Oliver. And to be honest, they all they all really get on with him. And Socks and like obviously like Oliver and Tyson and even Tilly, like with Tilly, he's always sitting next to Tilly, or no matter what. Even if I'm laying down on the bed, he'll come up and like he'll sleep on my feet right next to Tilly. Like even Tilly will jump up and obviously like sit next to me every time I'm going to sleep. But they're great company, and he's an amazing little friend. He's always making me laugh all the time, and literally no matter what he does, it just like brings joy to my heart. And I really love Simba to pieces. So does my partner, and so do our kids. Like he's probably one of the nicest, friendliest cats, and he's literally one of the most funniest. But he is definitely a big poser when it comes for pictures. Even though, like I said, he's very digi, and like literally he's very jumpy and very frightened sometimes. But when it comes to taking a picture, he loves his picture taking. He really does. I've got so many pictures like of my little cats, especially Simba. It's unbelievable. But yeah, he did sort of live a very bad life originally. He had a very bad start off to a life. But do you know what? The good thing is I managed to come along and find him, and I've given him a great home. But unfortunately, like I said, he does suffer a lot with skin flare-ups. Now, something that you can do is if your animal, like say either your dog or your cat, does suffer with like a skin allergy, like eczema, even I suffer with eczema as well, you need to keep your area tidy, you need to keep it clean. So basically like you need to constantly dust, you need to constantly hoover, you need to basically even wash your hands every single time that you're handling things. So even if, for instance, like I'm giving him a little cuddle now, obviously I've washed my hands before I've picked him up, because I don't want to obviously like spread any bacteria from my hands onto him. So it's basically about keeping the area clean. Also, another thing that I wanted to talk about is like the food. So basically any foods that have fillers in it, like very, very cheap foods that you can buy from the supermarket or whatever, Simba can't really have stuff like gourmet food, right? Even though it's still quite expensive, it's not really cheap stuff, but it has a lot of fillers in it. Okay, like even like say other food that you can get from the supermarkets, then you think, oh yeah, well I'm going to get this one, I'm going to get that. I mean, my cat's not that fussy. Do you know what? All the other cats, they are quite fussy. Tilly is not. Tilly will basically eat anything. She don't really care as long as it's food. Yeah, it's food. Like she don't really care. But when it comes to it, like for instance, with Simba, he has to have like a hypoallergenic diet. So that's like Purina. And Purina, they do like say hypoallergenic biscuits as well as the wet food as well. At first, he didn't really like it as much. He's very, very fussy. So even things like Dreamies, yeah, they do like contain a lot of bad things that will actually make his skin react. Another thing that will sort of help out his diet, because me and my partner was very worried about him like losing a little bit of weight, because when you do take him to the vet, they do weigh them as well from time to time. But we was a little bit worried about the actual weight of Simba because he did get a little bit thin. So the hyperallergenic biscuits that we was giving him, it's sort of like an appetite stimulant. So it will actually like make him eat more. So when it comes to it, right, even for instance, when you want to calm him down, another thing that you can do is give them a bit of catnip, and catnip actually like entices their appetite a little bit more. So it will actually make them eat a lot more. So Simba is now very, very healthy, and I have actually seen a lot of improvement when it comes to his eating and also his skin. Now, when it comes to his skin flare-ups obviously like do happen very, very minimal, but obviously like now that he's been on this new diet, his skin flare-ups are very, very, very minimal now, whereas before, the second that he has something like Sheba or gourmet or any other sort of like kitty cat food, it will sort of like set off his skin and he will go mad, won't you, mate? Hey, you're a good boy, ain't you? Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is literally like with Simba, any sort of like pet allergy that you have, like say for instance, like whether it's a dog or a cat, if they have like an eczema sort of allergy, see if you can get some advice from your local vets. Even the RSPCA will give you loads of friendly advice and friendly tips, or even on the internet, you can look it up on Google as well. And another thing, you can even get a steroid cream, so it's called Isoderm cream. So say for instance, I mean, the creams are not that expensive, but it's very, very worth it. And say for instance, if he's got like a little cut or a bit of eczema or whatever, and instead of getting it prone to infections, if you put a little bit of this steroid cream on, it'll actually heal it up pretty well and pretty fast as well. So like I said, if you get any sort of cats that do suffer with sort of fleas or anything like that, you need to treat it as soon as possible. And I don't mean literally you need to throw them in a bath, because cats hate water, like no matter what. So don't think, oh, I need to bath my cat, because obviously like it will kill the fleas. It does not kill the fleas. Best thing that I can do like when it comes to like fleas as well is recommend getting yourself like a boiling pot of like water. Let it cool down a little bit so as it's still quite warm, and then get yourself a decent comb, okay? And then what you can do is like a Furminator. Furminators are amazing. They're really cheap, but yet they're really effective, okay? So literally use your comb, comb all the way through his fur and everything. And when you see the fleas on it, just put it into the water, and then the fleas will literally just go straight to the bottom. And then they will die, obviously. But you need to also get rid of flea eggs, all right? So when it comes to it, flea eggs will not just obviously stay on the cat, but when you are brushing them off, they might even go onto your clothes, all right? So make sure that obviously when you've finished, you need to put your clothes into a wash, okay? So obviously it gets rid of any flea eggs or germs or whatever like that, because you cannot transfer that back onto the poor little animal, because they're the ones that are actually suffering, okay? But like I said, you need to keep your area, your house, everything completely clean. You need to dust, you need to hoover all the time, because now that I've noticed that obviously like I'm hoovering literally every day and I'm keeping the house tidy all the time, it might seem like a bit of a monotonous task, but I've seen a massive improvement in him, and also an improvement with my skin as well, because like I said, I suffer with eczema, so it's not just me, it's also to do with the cats, all right? But that's just a little video about how I got Simba, and obviously like how he's been looked after. Me and my partner and the kids, we just love Simba to pieces. And also the next video is going to be about Oliver, innit, mate? Hey Simba. Yeah, so it's going to be about Oliver. I hope you really enjoyed this video, all right? So I'm going to be making a few more videos soon, but if you can, just make sure that you subscribe to the channel wherever the little button is. Like I'm sure it's around the like here, up there, down there, or down there. All right. So click on that red subscribe button. All right, and remember to share this video, comment, like, And yeah, it's been great talking to you, and we'll see you again very soon. All right, take care.